Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Diego Castro. President Bongbong Marcos says the Philippine government will disengage from the International Criminal Court amid its persistence on investigating the drug war. In a March 27 decision, the ICC Appeals Chamber rejected the Philippine government's request to suspend its probe into the bloody war on drugs of the Duterte administration. Responding to this, Marcos says the government no longer has a next move. He says the decision is a signal for the Philippines to end all involvement with the ICC. Marcos also believes that they consider the ICC probe to be an interference and an attack on the country's sovereignty.
Hindi na tayo pwedeng appeal. The appeal has failed, and in our view, there's nothing more that we can do in the government, and so at this point, we essentially are disengaging from any contact, from any communication, I guess, with the ICC.
Solicitor General Menardo Guevara expressed disappointment over the ICC's decision. The OSG notes, though, that the fight is not over yet, as Guevara clarifies that the resolution of the Philippines' main appeal against the resumption of the probe remains pending.
So yun ang nakarating sa attention ng presidente, and he might have been given the impression na yung appeal mismo ang na-dismiss na ng ICC. So I will just explain to him na hindi pa tapos ang laban at yung decision, hinihintay pa natin yan.
A bill that aims to suspend security aid to the Philippines has been reintroduced in the U.S. Congress. Pennsylvania's 7th District Representative Susan Wild again filed the Philippine Human Rights Act. If passed, it would require the Philippines to comply with a set of human rights standards before it can receive military aid. These include the protection of activists and prosecution of erring uniformed personnel.
Matagal nang dinededma yung usapin ng hustisya dito sa ating bayan. Napakalayo pa natin towards achieving justice para sa libu-libong kasong ito.
The Defense and Foreign Affairs Departments have yet to provide their statements on the matter. Malacanang has approved the proposal to merge two state-run banks, the Land Bank of the Philippines and the Development Bank of the Philippines. Finance Chief Ben Jokno defended the merger plan in yesterday's palace briefing. He said that merging the two public lenders would result in the country's biggest bank in terms of assets. Jokno also cited the need to strengthen the government bank amid issues in the global banking sector. The merger is expected to save the government 5 billion pesos per year. It's expected to take effect this year, but so far, there is still no definite timeline.
By merging the two, it will now become the #1 bank in the Philippines. And that's really the best practice. The biggest bank usually is owned by the state globally.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News now. I'm Diego Castro. A senator is pushing for lower costs for jeepney drivers and transport cooperatives to modernize their units. During the launching ceremony of a new e-jeepney model, Senator Cynthia Villar says jeepney drivers could be provided lower interest loans as they transition to modern units, very much like the grants provided by the government to farmers. The government currently provides low-interest loans to farmers by giving funds to the Land Bank and Development Bank of the Philippines.
Dumadating sa farmers na mura yung pera na. Kung sa mga jeepney driver, dadating sa kanila na mura yung pera, they can afford to buy jeepneys na. So that's the way we do it. Maybe we can do it for our jeepney drivers also.
The launch attended by Villar was that of an electric minibus from the company Star 8, which can carry some 40 passengers. The bus is manufactured in Japan and costs some 2.7 million pesos. But the company says this could be sold for a lower price in the Philippines if the government allows tax exemptions and other forms of support.
If the government will support, that same bus that we're selling now for 2.7 will be only 1.8. If you take all the taxes, if really we can make it here, we are very happy to bring all our technology here.
Meanwhile, the LTFRB will be imposing penalties against sex offenders in public transport. The regulator issued a memorandum circular which imposes fines for specific acts of gender-based sexual harassment. These include catcalling, sexual remarks, lewd gestures, exposing private parts, and brushing against another person's body part, among others. PUV operators are also required to put up signages discouraging harassment inside the vehicle, along with contact details of the LTFRB. Violators will be slapped with a 5,000 peso fine and a 6-month vehicle suspension on their first offense. This goes up to 10,000 pesos on their second offense and 15,000 pesos on their third offense, along with their franchise being revoked. Aside from these penalties, they could also lose their driver's license. More non-native speakers will get to learn how to speak Tagalog and the wonderful art of distinguishing between the use of nang and nang. That's after Harvard University announced that it will offer a Tagalog language course. Aside from Tagalog, the US Ivy League school will be offering courses in Bahasa, Indonesia, and Thai. With this, Harvard will be hiring 3 instructors to teach the languages for the upcoming academic year. The teaching positions last for 3 years and are renewable for 5 more years. And that's it for this hour. Join us again at 7:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.